Hi, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm going to talk a bit today about my computer journey. I've alluded to this before on this channel. I showed you the big old desktop G3 a while ago that I had. But I've progressed over the years through different Apple Mac computers. I've never had a PC. I don't really know how to use them. I used to use one at work, but only could use the work programs. If anything went wrong with the rest of it, I used to get the IT people to come and help me. And to this day, when people say they want help with a PC, I'm pretty useless. But I know my Mac systems, and I've liked them from the word go, really, when I first started learning how to use them. So how far back do you go with your computers? What do you do with the old ones when you get a new one? My current big computer that I use is a nice big iMac just here. And I can see myself on there, and I do record on my iPhone 11 and up here on a stand. And that's hooked up to the iMac with the Camo Studio app and also the Zoom US app. So combined between those, I can record directly onto the iMac without recording onto my phone. So I save space on my phone. Anyway, so what happens to computers when they die? Or do they die? Or can they be resurrected? What's your story with your computers? How many do you have? How many do you still use? What do you do when you don't use them any longer? You still have them accumulating there in your house? Well, I've got about 4 computers I'm going to show you here today. And I'll progressively go through them and show you what I've been doing with them lately and what I use them for. So apart from all the things that I've got on my iMac, I've got these other computers as well. And I'm going to start off with one that I just recently put a new battery in it because the old battery blew up and swelled up and had to be replaced. And I managed to get a new one online and I put it in there. But then I just turned it on a minute ago and I realized that I didn't have a charger when I put it in. So anyway, I'll show you this one. This one here is a good old black, what is it called? It's called a MacBook. It's just called a MacBook. It's a black one. You don't see too many black ones around. And it's got a lot of useful ports on the side here, which you don't get these days with some of the computers. And I've got it charged in there, charging at the moment. The problem with this computer is I've got lots of stuff on here that's really important to me. And a lot of the things I've got on my computers, I back up on hard drives, but you never know whether you've backed something up or you haven't. So have a look at this. This is a beautiful black screen. The trouble is, it is a black screen. I can't see anything. And it's got what they call the black screen of death or something I've found on YouTube. And you can try and fix it yourself. But when this first started happening, the screen just suddenly died one day. But then I'd open it up and shut it up and open it up like that, and the picture would come back and then it'd go away. And then sometimes you can see the picture very faintly underneath the blackness. So, and I've got the new battery. This one was a simple replacement battery. You can see that just down there where my fingers are. That just unscrews and you buy a new one and put it in. So I've got a brand new battery in there. And so this is actually charging the battery up at the moment. I've got it plugged in, but I've got lots of really important things on there. What I do when I want to look at it, I hook it up to a monitor with an attachment on the side and hook it onto the monitor, and then I can actually see on the monitor what's on here, and that's quite useful. So I'll come back, maybe just talk a bit more about, I'll show you a computer you can actually see what's going on. So that's that one. I've had that one for quite a while. All of these 3 computers I'm going to show you, in fact the 4, I have a brother-in-law who's a bit of a Mac expert and lives in another state, and whenever I've bought anything, I think one of these here I bought myself from a local Mac shop, but the other 3 I sourced through him, and he's always been my go-to man to fix things when they go wrong. So that's that one there. I got 2 other MacBooks. This one is a smaller one. And once again, this has got some useful things on the side there. Coming a bit closer, connections. And also it's got a DVD drive, a CD and a DVD drive in there. And This one, I bought, the battery in this one had died, and the battery in the next one, which is a bigger one, similar vintage that I'm going to show you, died as well. But yesterday, I bought 2 batteries online, and I managed to replace the battery in this one. In fact, this is the battery that I took out of this one, and I managed to put a new one in, and that's charging up, and that's charged up okay, and it's good. I can actually turn this on. It's not plugged in. Before I couldn't turn it on. I could turn it on, but then it'd go dead within about a minute. So I'm just going to turn this on, and I'll probably prove a liar of me now. You might have just heard the noise there. So it's booting up, and that's because it's got a new battery in it. Now, if you're putting a new battery in these, there's a bit of a trap for young players, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But one of the things about these computers I have is that even though I've backed up a lot of things on hard drives, I'm never quite sure what I've actually backed up. And when I go through and look at the photo files and the sound files and the videos and all that sort of stuff, I realise, oh, I wonder if I've got that backed up somewhere, and that's still important to me. One of the things that I found frustrating with Apple people a few years back was I had started making Apple books using the online system of creating a book out of your own photos on the MacBook, and then sending it off and paying for it, and this beautiful bound book would come back to you. I did about, I don't know, 5 or 6 of those before Apple, in their wisdom, decided to discontinue doing that. And the problem was, there you are, the screen's just come up there now. One of the problems with this screen was that when I got this computer and opened up and came in the package, I picked it up like that, and I cracked all the screen, but you can't tell there's a crack in that, but there's a crack in the screen. It's been like it ever since I've had it. And it was a pretty good computer when I got it, and it still is. But it's chock-a-block full of stuff on here. Let me just have a look at the hard drive, see if I can find some info on that. File, get info. It says this original capacity was 1,000 gigabytes, and available space I've got on here now is only 76.86 gigabytes. So a lot of the stuff has been used on here already. And you're at a critical, you're supposed to have at least 10% spare capacity on these computers, so my brother-in-law tells me, for them to operate okay. But I'm still managing to use it, and I need to delete a lot of stuff on here that's not necessary to be on here. But it opens up okay. One of the problems I had when the Apple people brought in the Photos application, which is now on all the phones, to replace iPhoto, I didn't like it all that much. So whenever I bought a new computer, like these ones here, I would say I want to make sure that iPhoto is still there. So this one has iPhoto and it has some photos, but I've got heaps and heaps of photos on here. Let me just see how many photos I've got in iPhoto alone on here. Just have a look and see. It'll come up in a minute, hopefully. Yes, it's bumping away. It's not very fast. There, it's coming up there now. And I'll go up in the top right-hand corner, and it should tell me how many photos I've got on there. Let's have a look and see once they all come up. I'll tell you what I use these computers mainly for these days in a minute. It's still coming, it's still spinning. Maybe we'll see something there in a minute. Because I've got so much loaded on here, that's probably why it goes so slow. Now, here we go. So we'll go up here and we'll go to Photos, and just using the little pad on the front here, tells me on iPhoto alone here, I've got 65,977 photos on there, which is a lot. And I've got that similar on all my computers. But I'll show you what I mean about the books down here. You have this section in iPhoto called Projects, I'll go right down to the bottom here. I don't know if we can see this there. See where it says projects just up near the top of the screen there. So, and I've got on there, excuse me, I've got different books I started to work on. Cricket in Adelaide, AFL football in Adelaide. These are all from photos I've got. South Australian Living Artist at the Edwardstown Church, Canberra Botanical Gardens, Moana Riverside Caravan Park. I did a book for my mum when she turned 90. My first bird book, a book that I created for my grandkids to get them into bird watching. My Canberra, what was that one? Something to do with Canberra. Mum's book card, black and white. My first cricket book, so I did one for the kids to teach them how to play cricket. And Encounters with Birds, I did that one. I printed that one. I've got another one waiting, another two waiting to go with that, but I printed that one before they closed the program. The Flinders Ranges, Kangaroos, Flowers, Travels with Anne and Dave. There's some friends of ours. I did a book for them we're always going on holidays with them, so I did a book for them, a hardcover book. Birds Calendar. 2015 was when I was last using this in earnest, was a yearbook. The Grand Prix. I've got lots of photos of the Adelaide Grand Prix. Red Gum, which was a book on the gum trees of Australia, and particularly the red gum. Birds of a Feather, that's a little studio in Kapunda. Wedding Photography, Lake Merity, The Singing Garden. I'm getting a bit lost here. A landscape book, a Nullarbor book, and lots of other things. So basically, when you go in, it's like here's the beginnings of a book here. Birds of a Feather, about a studio of this guy, Roger, in Kapunda. And I've been in there, and he's a beautiful Australian bird artist. He does some fantastic work in there. But see, that one hasn't been finished. And I come back here and I can do my Kangaroos book. So here's my Kangaroos one, all waiting to go to the printer, but I couldn't send it off because Apple don't do it anymore. So I've been meaning to get around to actually contacting one of the new book places and say, can I send a PDF of this book? In fact, if anyone's watching, they can let me know. I can make these books into a PDF, and can I send it to these people and they'll print it the same as Apple? So let me just, I'll just click on here and show you what this looks like. Okay. So it's all sort of laid out, ready to go. I can just click over here. You can do double page spreads, all sorts of things. So I've got all those books I was reading out to you all ready to go. And I've got a couple on the other computers as well ready to go, but I haven't done them yet. So, and when I look at all the sound files in iTunes and the things that I've recorded on tape recorder and family outings and all that sort of stuff, I've got a whole collection of them. Some of them I've put on YouTube, and some of them I intend to put on YouTube, but I haven't done that yet. So I was going to say to you what the trap is if you're replacing a battery in this one, which is about a 2009 to 2011 MacBooks that you could actually service yourself and put things in them and fix them up yourself. So the what was I going to say then? The thing that I'm going to talk to you about is what happens when you try to replace a battery. I'll just shut this down for the minute. Had a look at that one long enough. And we'll shut it up. It's shutting down, yes. It's shutting down. We just wait for the little arrow to disappear. Okay. And then, whoops. I think it's shut down. Anyway, it shows you how to take the screws out of the back of this and put the battery in, which I did. And I tried to do it on the other one. I'll show you that one now, which is this one is a bit bigger. And this is a MacBook Pro. It's a bigger screen. Once again, similar connections on here. When I bought this, the DVD drive didn't work. It sounded like something was jammed in there. And I said, can you fix it? They said, oh, yeah, we can, but it could take a while. So they gave me a portable DVD player to use in the meantime. I never got around to going back to get it fixed, and I still can't use it. And the portable DVD player, which was a generic one, didn't work for that long anyway. It worked for a little while. So that was a bit disappointing. And I bought this from a local Mac shop, and it's a good computer though. So the problem I found when I took the back off of this, there are all these little, you can get these screws out okay. And these kits came with a screwdriver set to undo all these things. There's about, I don't know, there's 3 across the top and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other screws you've got to get out. So I managed to do that okay. And then there's 3 screws you've got to get out to remove the old battery. And when I went to remove the old battery, the, excuse me, one of the screws, the thread was threaded. I mean, the screw was threaded. And I couldn't, the one in the middle, there was 2 on either side for this battery on this one, only 2 screws for that one, the other one that I was doing, but 3 screws I had to get out. The one in the middle, I couldn't budge it. And I thought, what am I going to do here? So I rang some people up and they said, yeah, we can fix it. You can come down and you can give us a quote. And I thought, well, I need to use this weekend. I don't want to stuff it up and have them stuff it up while I'm wanting to use it on the weekend. So I decided I'll just hold off on that. Since that time, I've researched on the internet and found out different ways you can get these screws out, because it's a common problem apparently. So bear that in mind. If you buy a new battery for one of these older computers, you might have some trouble with getting some of those little screws out, particularly where the battery is locked into the inside of the machine. So what do I use these computers for? Well, apart from my own enjoyment, I'm finding all sorts of interesting things. When I open them up and have a look at them, there's all sorts of interesting things in there which I had forgotten about. Family history and letters I've written to people, articles I've written, recordings, film, movies, all sorts of stuff. And it's fascinating. And I think, oh, I should put that somewhere else. I should put that on YouTube. I use a lot of the stuff in these from my archives to maybe do a little YouTube video every now and then. But the primary reason I use this computer for is that every second Sunday, my wife and I help out in a church service in a nursing home. And I do all the PowerPoints for the service, for all the hymns to be sung, and what's coming next, and the Bible readings and all that sort of stuff. And I run it through this computer. It's got a VGA connection here, and I've got a little connection that goes from there into a socket on the wall in the hall where we do this, and there's an overhead projector up there, and I play it all through that. So I create the PowerPoints on my iMac, and then I transfer them on a little USB stick into this computer here, and then lo and behold, on the day, it comes up on the screen. And I don't have a HDMI connection on this computer, so I just use the VGA connection, and that still works. The other little computer that I showed you before, this one here, I can also use that to do my PowerPoints. So whenever I do all this stuff, create the PowerPoints for the church service and anything else that I might be doing, helping out someone give a talk and showing an illustrated talk with the PowerPoint, I always put them on USB, and I transfer from the USB from my iMac onto this computer here, and I also put another copy on the other one, because I figured that, and I was getting worried because one day I thought this might die on me. That's why I've just decided to get new batteries for them, is that the other one I can play through the overhead projector as well, the LCD projector as well. So that's what I do there. The other computer, which I still use occasionally, and once again, this I don't, this is a Mac Mini. This has a DVD player in it as well. It's about the only one of my computers where the DVD thing works. And but you don't have any sound on this, so you've got to plug extra sound. This died some time ago, and my brother-in-law interstate, he fixed it for me, but left out any sound connections and whatever. So you have to have a little extra thing here to plug into to get some sound, audible sound out of it. But that's a great little computer. I've got just as many photos on that. I've got books I've created on that I started to do on that, and all sorts of projects. And these are wonderful. I often have thought about getting a new one, but see, look at all the different connections you've got on the back here now compared to what you might have on a modern one. And I just love all these old computers. I love opening them up, having a look at what I'd forgotten I put on them, and just going through them, and then deciding what I want to do with stuff. And I get all sorts of ideas about what I can do with them. So it's a lot of fun. Now, okay, so what do you do with your old computers? Are you still doing something similar to me? I'm a bit of a dinosaur in human terms, and also in all the equipment that I use. But I have fun, and I've enjoyed the journey with all the Apple products along the way. And PCs just scare me. They do, even though some people think they're the greatest thing. So whenever someone says to me, "Can you help me with my computer?" I say, "Well, is it a Mac or a PC?" And as soon as they say it's a PC, I say, "Sorry, you need to talk to someone else." So anyway, so I don't know whether that's been interesting for you or not. Let me know what you do with your old computers, whether you're still running them, whether you're doing similar things with your computers to what I'm doing. I mean, we talk about, is our camera still relevant in 2023? Are any of your old computers still relevant to you in 2023? Interesting question, isn't it? Anyway, that's just a bit of a ramble, unrehearsed. It was rehearsed a little bit in my head, but it's just coming out as it comes out. So thanks for watching. Like if you like, and I'll see you next time. See you later.